Good morning. So I was going to share with you my thoughts. I got part of this garden. This is my wheat or grains, half part of the garden. I've got some of the fence posts up. And the reason why I decided to close my garden in is because it's so close to the goats. Right there and there. That if anybody got out at any point in time, they would probably just come right over here and eat my grains in my garden. And so I've decided to close in the garden, and I'm putting the T-posts in first, and then I'm going to decide on what type of fencing to put around. I was thinking I needed it pretty tall, but it seems like most of my predators are going to be doves from the sky. I put out grain and I have just had an onslaught of doves that are just eating absolutely everything. So I've luckily kept all my heirloom, ancient grains and that kind of stuff in the house this year. So next year I'm gonna need to think of some type of a cover or something to plant it out for it to even be able to sprout. I am gonna have a little bit of success. You can see the grain like right on the ground here. You can see some of it. That's what I did last year, and I just threw some out this year just to see. But the doves are just totally targeted on my place. So I wanted to show you also the garlic that the kids have grown. So they planted this last year. I left it all in ground because they planted tomatoes too as their cover crop. I was trying to intercrop tomatoes and garlic, and that does not work because right when you need to get the garlic out, my tomato plants were just covered in tomatoes. And so I just left them. I was hoping that it would turn out this way, that the garlic would come back, and it has. So there's the garlic, and here is a crop of onions. So I am just going to leave this portion of my garden now as my garlic and onions. I might do a little bit of lettuce as an intercrop in between it so I can pick and eat the lettuce, but let the garlic grow. Anyway, that was my thoughts on this. I just think that there's got to be a different crop that you could rotate in with garlic that would be better than what I did. So those are my little tidbits. And then I laid out more of my T-posts all along the front here. And so my garden is going to look a little bit different. I'm going to knock down the sunflower stalks, and this is all going to be closed in because I'm going to need to be able to have goats walking around and dogs that I don't want just running right through my garden. And if I ever have a rogue chicken, I'll see my T-posts are right here on the ground. I was just trying not to show you my personal shadow, but my T-posts are all laid out here. And then I'll get John to make me some type of a gate here so that we can walk in. I laid out this wooden gate and I think it's really pretty. This is the top here where it's been kind of chewed on by a horse. They salvaged this from somewhere. And the hinges are really cool, but it would be kind of a pain to open and close constantly. And so I might just put that up as something just to have for show or grow my morning glory flowers against or some sunflowers by, so it'll look pretty. Not as functional as I had hoped. I think I'm just going to have John make me a super simple metal gate that we can swing open and close with a latch. So, and then we'll get the front of this garden closed up. But next year it's going to look totally different because I'm going to put the back of the bed is going to be here. And we'll mainly enter in through the garden and spend most of our time on the inside with the gate closed and not have it so open. I have too many animals, and sometimes an animal gets loose. I really sometimes have chickens that get loose, and they just do tons of damage. And I have a pig now, and I'm worried about her accidentally getting out sometime. So there's a couple animals. I need to also get the cover off of this new crop of garlic. You can see that it's poking its head through. I've been waiting till the nights have stopped freezing, but it hasn't happened yet, and I'm worried about it choking out some of my garlic because we planted a ton, but you can see some of them are poking through. But my plan was to pull off some of those leaves and spread them out so that those garlic can see the sun better. So I need to get on that this week. And then my leaf stand here, my other one worked really well. I put out all those leaves. I forgot to tell you. I almost dug out all those leaves. I put them on cardboard here, and I'm doing the no dig kind of a cover because in here is supposed to be no grass. And this was my garden bed from last year. And so what I did is I laid down cardboard, put some leaves on it, wet it all down to hold it down, and it should choke out most of the grass that's showing up. See, I do need to come in and get a little bit of, where is that grass at right there? I do need to hand dig some grass. But I like to use the cover stuff and kind of just cover it up, choke it out from the sun so it can't grow. It makes my life a lot easier and it covers the ground a lot better. So, and I haven't seen as much grass on this side. This is doing really good. So I didn't pull the leaves out of here and I didn't put any cardboard. The green here at the front is onions. And I did decide this year to put flowers in this front part. I absolutely loved looking out my kitchen window and seeing the rows of the sunflowers. So this year I think I'm gonna do sunflowers, but also just fill these with flowers and put my pumpkins and squashes somewhere else. And probably double the space. I think last year I had oodles, but it was so much fun. I might do more this year. I have this new space here that I created. So my first step in this is I'm gonna get some boxes and I'm gonna cover the grass here. And I brought over a lot of manure, but I didn't quite get it completely filled. I ran out of time. So I'm gonna smear spread out the manure over some boxes here to choke this grass out. And I have a bag of apothecary seeds, and I've shown you those in my seed starting videos. And I started almost all the seeds so far. And so I'm planning on doing this as a designated special apothecary garden, just designated solely for medicine and things that we can consume, and also there's some flowers in it. So I'm excited to see what the varieties will look like put together all into here. And then I have decided that out there, I'm going to continue where the sawdust is. I am going to continue and designate a bigger area for my asparagus because that's a really nice mulch, and I can start my asparagus seeds inside and use that as a deep mulch around my asparagus. And I think that that will be really neat out there in the center area. And I can kind of leave a hose going so that they stay nice and damp and grow really well out there in the center of my garden. All right, well, I just wanted to show you that I'm getting these T-posts out here and I am getting them in the ground. I plan to bring it all the way around the front here of the garden. You like my ugly wannabe scarecrow? I put an owl and a windy tarp, or a tarp that's flapping in the wind, but it's not holding them off. Look at that dove up there. I normally have that whole telephone line covered in doves, and they've come out here and eaten my grain. See, I planted grain out here. I don't know if you can see the grain. They've pretty much eaten it. You can see a little bit of it, but I did plant this whole thing full of red winter wheat, and it should be sprouting and coming up soon. Whatever is left from what the doves ate. I know it looks messy. My hope and dream this year is to get this cleaned up and get rid of my makeshift scarecrow. Look at him. He's not scaring anybody off. But I hope to get this sorted out and straightened up. And then this cattle panel that got blown over, it is going to be a strawberry patch. I have some netting on it right here for the birds to not be able to get inside of there. Now, you've seen this in other videos of mine, and this cattle panel was going to be a bird, where I put like a bird tractor type of a thing. But I'm going to use it in the garden and put part of a tarp over it. I'm going to stand it up, get the ends on it again like it's supposed to be. Get it all stood up nice. Make a square box and have a nice strawberry patch in that little makeshift square area. And I will put a front and back on it with this bird netting so that it's protected from the birds. Anyway, that is my plan for that. So I have a few projects on the list, and I'll get started on all of those. I'll talk to you guys later.